We all love video games, but what happens when a game crosses the line from funny to deadly? Gaming addiction is a serious issue, and when people blur the lines between virtual and real life, the consequences can be tragic. Today on TenXcellence, we're diving into some chilling stories of games that cause real-world deaths. These aren't just urban legends, these incidents really happened, proving that even a simple game can have devastating consequences when taken too far. So buckle up as we count down the top 10 video games that cause real-world deaths. Let's dive in. Number 10. Berserk. We kick off our list with Berserk, a classic arcade game from the early 1980s. This one may seem innocent, with players dodging and shooting robots in a maze, but it holds the dubious honor of being the first game linked to a real-world death. In 1981, 19-year-old Jeff Daly set a high score, only to suffer a fatal heart attack shortly afterward. A year later, another player, Peter Burkowski, met the same fate after achieving a high score. Two deaths from a game that barely involves any heart-pounding action. Seems like the real enemy here wasn't the robots, but the stress of arcade glory. Number 9. Farmville. Next on the list is a game that you wouldn't expect to cause any harm. Farmville. This Facebook game had millions of people obsessed with planting crops and tending virtual farms, but for one mother in Florida, the addiction spiraled out of control. In 2010, she became so enraged after her infant daughter's cries interrupted her game that she fatally shook the child. It's hard to believe that a game about harvesting carrots and raising livestock could lead to such a tragic incident, but it's a grim reminder of how gaming addiction can cloud judgment and lead to horrifying consequences. Number 8. Halo 3. A game that revolutionized first-person shooters, also takes a spot on this dark list. In 2007, a 16-year-old boy from Ohio shot both of his parents after they took away his beloved Xbox and banned him from playing Halo 3. His mother didn't survive the attack, while his father was critically injured but recovered. This wasn't just a case of teenage rebellion. It was a devastating example of how obsession with a game can push someone over the edge. In a game known for its intense multiplayer battles, this was one conflict that tragically extended beyond the screen. Number 7. Warcraft III. Many gamers have pulled all-nighters playing their favorite games, but when it comes to Warcraft III, one man took it to a fatal extreme. In 2005, a South Korean man collapsed and died after playing the game for 50 hours straight in an internet cafe. He had neglected to eat, drink, or sleep during the marathon session, and his body simply couldn't keep up. The game, a real-time strategy classic, demands quick thinking and long hours, but this tragic incident serves as a harsh reminder of the dangers of gaming addiction, especially when health is put on the line. Number 6. Grand Theft Auto IV. If any game has a reputation for causing controversy, it's Grand Theft Auto IV. This open-world game is known for its violence and crime, but in 2008, a teenager in Thailand took the game's themes too far. He attempted to rob a taxi driver, just like in the game, but things went horribly wrong when the driver was killed during the botched robbery. The teen later admitted that he was inspired by the game's criminal activities, proving just how much influence a game can have on those already vulnerable to its violent allure. It's a sobering reminder that not everything in a game should be reenacted in real life. Number 5. Mortal Kombat. With its over-the-top gore and brutal finishing moves, Mortal Kombat was bound to end up on this list. In 1997, two teenagers in the US took inspiration from the game's infamous fatalities and murdered a classmate. The victim was brutally beaten, and the perpetrators later claimed they were copying moves from the game. This tragic case stirred up intense debate about violence in video games and their potential impact on young minds. Mortal Kombat is no stranger to controversy, but this real-world tragedy showed just how far some people can take their gaming influences. Number 4. Slender Man, Minecraft mode. In 2014, a shocking crime rocked a small town of Waukesha, Wisconsin, involving the creepy urban legend Slender Man, a character popularized in Minecraft mode. Two 12-year-old girls lured their friend into the woods and stabbed her multiple times, claiming they were trying to please Slender Man. The victim survived, but the crime left a scar on the community and sparked controversy about the influence of online myths and video game culture. Though Slender Man was born out of internet horror, the fact that the game mode played a part in fueling such an incident shows the deep influence digital culture can have on impressionable minds. Number 3. RuneScape. A massively popular MMORPG, was the scene of a heartbreaking tragedy in 2015. A British teenager took his own life after being relentlessly bullied and scammed in the game by other players. RuneScape's open world is notorious for its cutthroat player interactions, and in this case, the online harassment led to a real-world despair. While the game itself isn't directly to blame, it highlights the toxic environments that can exist in online gaming communities, especially when vulnerable players are involved. It's a sobering reminder of how real the impact of virtual actions can be. Number 2. Dota 2. Competitive gaming can push players to their limits, but in 2014, a Dota 2 match in the Philippines ended in deadly violence. After a heated in-game argument, a boy was murdered by his cousin in a real-world altercation. Dota 2, a multiplayer online battle arena game, MOBA game, is known for its intense and often toxic player base. But this incident took things to an unimaginable extreme. It's a grim example of how in-game frustrations can spill over into reality, with deadly consequences. A brutal reminder that no virtual victory is worth losing your life over. Number 1. Legend of Mir. At number 1 we have Legend of Mir, a game that led to one of the most shocking real-world tragedies. In 2005, a Chinese gamer murdered his friend over a virtual sword that was sold in the game without his consent. The dispute arose when the friend sold the sword for real money after promising to return it. Enraged by the betrayal, the gamer killed him in real life. It's hard to believe that something as trivial as a virtual item could lead to murder, but this story stands as a stark reminder of how deeply people can get lost in the digital world. So there you have it, 10 video games that cross the line between virtual entertainment and real-world tragedy. Gaming is an incredible form of escapism, but as these stories show, it's important to keep things in perspective and never let obsession take over. Whether it's the stress of a high score or the toxicity of online communities, these incidents prove that even something as fun as gaming can have deadly consequences. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching TenXcellence, and remember, balance is key, both in life and in gaming. Stay safe and see you in the next countdown.